It was a big day when Columbus and his crew, after many days on the sea, encountered the Americas in 1492, continents which were virtually unknown in the rest of the world and were outside of the old world's political and economic system. It was a discovery that would lead to new opportunities for Europe, but the combination of new available lands, while the European countries were fighting for power and wealth, turned out to be one of the most devastating periods in human history. The European colonization of the Americas fundamentally changed the lives and cultures of the resident indigenous people whose population were diminished drastically. Before the colonization of America, the Native Americans were living in peace, fighting each other's tribes once in a while for territory. They were traditionally living as hunter-gatherers, and especially in the Amazon basin, many groups practiced aquaculture and agriculture. Although some societies depended heavily on agriculture, others practiced a mix of farming, hunting, and gathering. In some regions, the indigenous people created monumental architecture, kingdoms, and empires. Among these were the Aztec, Inca, and Maya states, that until the 16th century were among the most politically and socially advanced nations in the world. They had a vast knowledge of engineering, architecture, astronomy, medicine, painting, and much more. They surpassed Europeans in multiple ways. The Aztec Empire was the biggest empire located in today's Mexico, and their capital, Tenochtitlan, was populated with up to 400,000 inhabitants and had enormous temples and pyramids. It is estimated that Tenochtitlan was one of the biggest cities in the world, along with Paris and Constantinople. The Aztecs meant it was in the city of Tenochtitlan the gods had created the sun and moon. Unfortunately, the Spaniards under their leader Hernán Cortés destroyed and slaughtered the entire city in 1521. Besides the conquest of the city, the Spaniards brought something unexpected with them, and that was several diseases like smallpox and the flu, which were unknown for the indigenous people's immune system. And within 3 centuries, 80 to 90% of all indigenous people had died due to the untreatable disease. The time after Christopher Columbus' discovery of the Americans, the European countries in search of wealth and power went and colonized the continents of America. The Spaniards and Portuguese people were the first to colonize, and they went to South America and achieved big success with wealth and endless goods for their countries. France quickly heard about the success and started making plans which resulted in France colonizing big parts of North America in 1524. The Kingdom of England was lacking on the development of navigation skills, and therefore it first followed Spain and France in 1607, and here they colonized the northeast and settled their settlement Jacksontown. With time, the European powers colonized more and more land, and the indigenous people had their territory forcibly decreased day by day. In 1636, the Piquet tribe was living close to the English colonizers in the east of America. Both parts deeply wanted to control the fur trade, and with time their relationship got more and more tense. When a group of Piquet warriors was accused of killing an English settler, the Piquet War broke out, one of the most savage wars in history, also known as the Mystic Massacre. Stories tell that hundreds of women and children were murdered while they were sleeping, and hundreds more were killed only within an hour, where half of them were burned to death. The following month, Englishmen pursued the fleeing Piquet communities, executing the leaders and enslaving the women and children. The massacre of the Piquet tribe demonstrated how far the colonizers would go to gain power and control of their lands. Many uproars and rebellions followed after this incident, but they had no chance against the armed Europeans, who had black powder guns and cannons, steel armor and swords, which made them hard to take down with the weapon the natives were used to fighting them. Besides the warfare, the illnesses from Europe wiped out the tribes. The flu could paralyze an entire tribe, and smallpox was their worst enemy, leading entirely tribes to death. The warfare and the illnesses brought along with the colonization killed between 80 to 90% of all Native Americans, leading to the genocide of indigenous people.
The Americans have established a Thanksgiving Day to celebrate the fact that the Pilgrim Fathers reached America. The English might very well establish another Thanksgiving Day to celebrate the happy fact that the Pilgrim Fathers left England. G.K. Chesterton. Happy Thanksgiving. Despite the United States of America's self-mythologizing, its megalomaniac empire began its career by eating the freshly killed corpses of those whose country it was. The settlers made their state from transgressive horror.
There were accounts of the fact that when things were so desperate and it was very hopeless for the colonists that they some resorted to cannibalism.
Upon landing, the Pilgrim Fathers, the colonists' special forces, some religious fundamentalists from Europe, ran out of food. But judging the indigenous people to be savages, they arrogantly spurned their offers of help. Instead, the settlers hunted the local game to extinction, and, having no idea of the proper crops to plant, were unprepared for what they called the starving time. In 1609 they faced famine as well as drought. They ate their horses, their dogs, their cats, and their mice. They made stews out of the Mayflower's rats.
They had to survive on what they could. They talk about eating their dogs. We've got some butchered dog bones there. Their horses. They had 6 horses. They ate those. Rats, cats, mice.
Having fished out the rivers, they sought nutrition in leather, and in desperation chewed their own boots.
Desperate with hunger, and here it was, Thanksgiving Day. Nevertheless, there was something to be thankful for. Not quite done yet, said the little fellow. Give it 2 more minutes.
One settler, named George Percy, would leave an account of the Pilgrim Fathers' life in Jamestown. Nothing was spared to maintain life, and to do those things which seem incredible, and to dig up dead corpses out of graves, and to eat them, and some have licked up the blood which hath fallen from their weak fellows. Percy claimed his fellow Americans could not wait for their fellows to die before drinking their blood, and he recorded that the extremity of hunger forced them secretly in the night to cut down their dead fellows from off the gallows, and to bury them in their hungry bowels. The U.S. venerates its Pilgrim Fathers as brave pioneers, but the country was created by zombie cannibals. The settlers, being incompetent at growing any food, regarded the Indians as a source of protein, and those they killed in conflict didn't stay buried long. The settler, Captain John Smith, described the scene. Nay, so great was our famine, that a savage we slew and buried, the poorer sort took him up again, and ate him, and so did divers others, and another boiled and stewed him with roots and herbs. The early Americans' passion for eating Indians was widely known. In a letter from Don Alonso de Velasco to the King of Spain, he describes how they eat the dead, and when one of the natives died fighting, they dug him up again 2 days afterwards to be eaten. Again, one Robert Beverly tells how they eat the bodies of the Indians they had killed, and sometimes also upon a pinch they would not disdain to dig them up again to make a homely meal of them after they had been buried. Early records show that the first Thanksgiving was held to celebrate some settlers escaping from the native population, from some Pequod Indians, angered at their burial sites being robbed by settlers stealing Indian flesh for their delectation. To justify the United States stealing someone else's territory, its early spin doctors would misrepresent the Indians, and, just as the U.S.'s terrorist empire now calls others terrorists, the Native Americans were falsely claimed to be cannibals. The US hasn't lost its taste for devouring human flesh. From its 1,000 bases worldwide, their horrific empires killed 30 million since World War II, then enjoyed their valuable resources on the side. Every year, America comes together to celebrate its good fortune at Thanksgiving meals. It eats tons of white flesh smeared with crimson sauce, and is certain it's God's blessing how it feels. Thanks to years of PR, the Pilgrim Fathers belong not to history, but to a quasi-religious ideal. Established in wartime as a national holiday, Thanksgiving now spawns a patriotic fervor that's unreal. "There is one day that is ours," said an excited O. Henry. "Thanksgiving Day is one day that is purely American. It's America's defining holiday." But to a less gullible cultural pundit, it's nothing but a toast to genocide. A day for indulging in American exceptionalism and an overweening national pride. America eats 45 million turkeys on Thanksgiving. Its president spares one in a facetious ritual. Thanksgiving Day is spent eating and drinking and eating, and the gross out prompts a modest proposal.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25 and verse 7. "There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy." I want to give all honor, glory, and infinite praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, SHAQADAN. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to the elect scattered abroad, pushing his truth in sincerity. Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, SHAQADAN, Barakdam to you, Zaquanium, Wa'akim, Wa'kwaf, you elders, you brothers, you sisters, the hopeful elect, out there laboring, keeping the commandments to the best of your ability, giving diligence to make your calling and election sure. And of course, keeping faith in Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and His beloved Son, our Lord and our Savior, our King, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, in these last days, in these perilous times that we are living in. This is Brother Pashai, Bang Yasha'Allah, and this be a quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Shai on how the tribe of Gad and Reuben, Native and Seminole Indians, will ultimately overcome. They will get the last laugh, man. Along with all the other tribes, all right, of the children of Israel. All right, Judah on down to Issachar, so-called Negroes, and down to the so-called Mexicans. All right, because the 12 tribes of Israel consist of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. All right, Native Seminole Indians. You see that? And in these last days, we're waking up. All right, we are being risen up by the Most High Yahweh Bashim Shai. We are remembering ourselves, man. All right, we're remembering who our enemy is, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, along with the other nations as well. All right, the Arabs. All right, the Africans. All right, it's the Chinese and Japanese, so on and so forth. You see, and today is so-called what they call Thanksgiving, which really thanks stealing, thanks killing. One of the most genocidal holidays celebrated in history, man. All right, and celebrated in America, Canada, Grenada, all right, Liberia, some parts in Brazil and Philippines and St. Lucia. All right, and it's a so-called holiday, which really a holiday, all right, a holy day to these wicked devils, all right, of the rape, robbery, murder, slaughter, all right, genocide of the Native Seminole Indians, man, along with the Aztecs, all right, and other tribes as well, all right, the Mayans, all right, the Tainos, all right. This holiday really just it's a celebration of a fall of the tribes of the Most High's chosen people, man. All right. So if you celebrate this thing, you are enemy with the Most High. Okay. So I'm reading some articles and going to some history and bringing some precepts. But the reason I start with that precept in Sirach, the 25th chapter, is because what? We will see the fall of our enemy, man. I'm going to get the prophecy of Genesis, the 49th chapter, but, you know, there's all type of genocide, you know, that happened, you know, to our people, man. Indian Removal Act, all right, the California Gold Rush, you see that, and different things underneath. So I'm going to read some of this article right here that's entitled The American Genocide of the Indians, Historical Facts and Real Evidence. All right, let's read some of this. It says, it's a long article, it's a good article, I'm going to jump down to some points. It says, the term genocide, made from the ancient Greek word genos, race, nation, or tribe, all right, and Latin, sedere, killing, annihilation. You see that? So basically, is the word genocide literally means the killing or annihilation of a race, nation, or tribe. All right, so these Edomites literally tried to annihilate the tribe of Gad, man. All right, and Reuben. You see? It says, I'm going to jump down to the point right here. No. Let's get straight to the point with the what they did to the Gadites. All right. So right here. On July 4th, 1776, the United States of America was founded with the Declaration of Independence, which openly stated that he, the British king, was excited domestic insurrections amongst us and has endeavored to bring on the inhabitants of our frontiers the merciless Indian savages, and slandered Native Americans and the merciless Indian savages, man. That's what they called our people. All right. In 1776, July 4th, so-called Independence Day, which you idiots celebrate. I'm talking about you so-called blacks, Latino Americans. You celebrate that day like clowns. All right. Now understanding the history on it, man. They literally was calling you what? Merciless Indian savages. Let's read on. The United States government and leaders treated Native Americans with a belief in white superiority and supremacy, set out to annihilate the Indians and attempted to eradicate the race through cultural genocide, man. You see? During the American War of Independence, 1775 and 1783, the Second War of Independence, 1812 to 1815, and the Civil War, 1861 to 1865, the United States leaders eager to transform its plantation economy, because during all this time, they had Negroes and hardcore bonded slavery as well. All right? But we go back to 1492 when Christopher Columbus came on the scene, you know, to really to attack the Northern Kingdom. All right? But let's read on. It says, where we at? All right. Eager to transform its plantation economy as an adjunct to European colonialism and to expand their territories, coveted, all right, the vast Indian lands and launched thousands of attacks on Indian tribes, slaughtering Indian chiefs, soldiers, and even civilians, and taking Indian lands for themselves, man. You see? So there's all type of acts that was done to our people, man. It says in 1862, the United States enacted the Homestead Act, you see, which provided that every American citizen above the age of 21 with the mere registration fee of $10 US could acquire no more than 160 acres, all right, of land in the West. Lured by the land, the white people swarmed in the Indians' areas and started to massacre, all right, started a massacre that resulted in the death of thousands of Indians, man. So they put in, see, so look at the precept right quick, all right. Look at Isaiah 25, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Isaiah 25 in verse, matter of fact, I think it's Isaiah 10. Let me see. Isaiah 10, right here, verse 1. Woe me to destruction unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed, man. All right. So Esau did a lot of this with the pen, the power of the pen, write it into documentation, different acts. Indian Removal Act, Homestead Act, all right, the California Gold Rush, and these different things of that nature. All right, this man Esau is a fucking demon. He gonna pay for this, man. He's literally gonna pay for this, and it's funny because he think he got away scot-free. Nah, you ain't get scot-free, my man. You see? So let's go back to the article. It says, it says leaders of the United States government. Lord willing, I can link this in the description box below, so you brothers and you sisters could read it as well. All right. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. It's a lot of information. It's beautiful information. You know, history proving who we are as well, because all this in the curses, right? But it says leaders of the United States government at that time openly claimed that the skin of Indians could be peeled off to make tall boots. They was peeling off the skin of Indians, man, of the Gadites and the Seminole Indians, the Reubenites, all right? It says to make tall boots that Indians must be annihilated or driven to places that no one would go, that Indians had to be wiped out swiftly, and that only dead Indians are good Indians. And it's so interesting. A lot of you brothers not, man. I'm at the plantation. Me and the co-workers having a conversation about the current events taking place in the world with the war over there in the land of Israel. And, we using wisdom without words. I am really, we just talking about what's going on, what the news is publicizing. But in any event, an old-ass small hat was behind us. And he got mad. He said something like, you guys are racist, or you guys hate something. You got a lot of hate in your hearts. What are you talking about, man? All right? Then he yelled. He hit his hand on the table and screamed, the only good Palestinian is a dead Palestinian. You see that? So these are the same guys, man. All right? And I'm not sticking up. I'm not for either side in what's going on over today in that war. We're pro prophecy. All right? But I use that as an example because he was an old Edomite devil, small hat, and he said the only good, Arab or Ishmael is a dead Ishmaelite. And what did they say to our people? So they got the same spirit. That's how we know who these guys are. All right, I just read it right here. Read it again. It says in that the Indians have to be wiped out swiftly, and that only dead Indians are good Indians. See that? American soldiers saw the slaughter of Indians as natural, even an honor, and would not rest until they were all killed. Similar hate rhetoric and atrocities abound and are well documented in many Native American extermination monographs, man. All these they're doing to the Gadites, man. It says bloody massacres and atrocities. Since the colonists set forth in North America, they have systematically and intensively hunted American bison, cutting off the source of food and basic livelihood of the Indians and causing their death from starvation in large numbers. All right, let's read a little more. It says, statistics revealed that since its independence in 1776, the United States government has launched over 1,500 attacks on Indian tribes, slaughtering the Indians, taking their lands, and committed countless crimes. In 1814, the United States government decreed that it would award $50 to $100 for each Indian skull surrendered. Man, this is the same government today. All right, them same so-called forefathers of the country, they're back in their lot. It's reincarnation. They're still here. All right, it's the same wicked-ass constitution still here. All of this bullshit, man. In 1814, right, the United States government, how many years ago was that? All right, let's find that right quick. That was 200 years ago. 20 years ago, 209, it says the United States government decreed that it would award $50 to $100 for, and that's a lot of money back then, for each Indian skull surrendered, man. You see? The American historian Frederick Turner acknowledged that the significance of the frontier in American history released in 1893, that each frontier was won by a series of wars against the Indians, man. All right. The California Gold Rush was also brought about the California Massacre, Peter Burnett, and all those lands belonged to Gad. All right. Reuben, Issachar, all right, so on and so forth, man. And he was removing them for gold, removing them for land, removing them for food, all right, agriculture, things of that nature. It says the first governor of Peter Burnett, the first governor of California, proposed a war of extermination against Native Americans, the Gadites, triggering rising calls for the extermination of the Indians in the state. In California in the 1850s and 60s, an Indian skull or scalp was worth $5, while the average daily wage was 25 cents from 1846 to 1873. The Indian population in California dropped to 30,000 from 150,000. You see that? Countless Indians died as a result of the atrocities. Some of the major massacres include: in 1811, American troops defeated the famous Indian chief Tecumseh and his army in the Battle of Tippecanoe, burned the Indian capital, Prophetstown, and committed brutal massacres. You see? From November 1813 to January 1814, the United States Army launched a Creek War against the Native Americans, the Gadites, also known as the Battle of Horseshoe Bend. On March 27, 1814, about 3,000 soldiers attacked the Creek Indians at Horseshoe Bend, Mississippi territory. Over 800 Creek warriors were slaughtered in the fight, and as a result, the military strength of the Creeks was significantly weakened. Under the Treaty of Fort Jackson, right, the Indian killer, all right, Andrew Jackson, known as Indian Killer, right, signed on August 9th of the same year. The Creeks ceded more than 23 million acres of land, the United States federal, to the federal state government. So 23 million acres of land was delivered to the United States federal government, man. All right, by slaughter, all right, robbery, murder. I'm not gonna read all of this. It's a lot, all right. Oh, even going right here. Let's read this. In 1930, the United States Bureau of Indian Affairs began sterilizing Indian women through the Indian Health Service Program. Sterilization was conducted in the name of protecting the health of Indian women, and in some cases, even performed without the woman's knowledge. Statistics that, man, they was doing it without their knowledge. Statistics suggest in early 1970s, more than 42% of Indian women of childbearing age were sterilized, meaning they can't bear children, they can't populate. Sound like Planned Parenthood to me, triggered to the Negroes. How interesting. Because we the same people and they hate us, man. It says, this resulted in the near extinction of many small tribes. By 1976, approximately 7,000 Indian women have been forcibly sterilized, man. The Most High gonna put these devils to death, man. All right, and it's a lot more in this article. It's a lot more, man. I'm gonna link this in the description box below. But that was the main point I want to get, just to list out a few of the genocidal acts done to our people, man. All right, I already mentioned Indian Removal Act, California Gold Rush. All right, I didn't go into too much history on that as well, but, and you know, on SHAQADAN, I think I quoted the wrong dude. Matter of fact, no, yeah, right. And now I'm gonna read this very fast, proving that they're the Israelites. You know, there's a guy named by James Adair, all right, and he wrote a book called History of the American Indians. And I'm just gonna read this part, and get straight to it, right? It says right here, Adair claims he resided and transacted with Native American communities in the southeast United States for 4 decades, all right, 40 years. During this time, he also participated in South Carolina's political scene. However, History of the American Indians, 1775, established his legacy, published in London on the eve of revolution and categorized as an ethno-history. Adair's text argues that Native Americans descended from Jews and were a lost tribe of Israel, the Gadites. All right, and that's all I really needed to read, because we go into the history that he was bringing out. Their customs, you know, the Gadites was, you know, acting as the priests on his side for a long duration of time. Of course, towards the end, before Columbus came, they started going off, things of that nature. But even if, all right, you had the still tribes still practicing the customs of our people. All right, when women on a menstrual cycle, they'll separate for, I believe, a week. All right, amongst others. All right, the refuge for someone to save someone, put someone to death by accident. They have refuge villages, refuge cities to go to, and they're protected by the priests. That's in the law, you know, amongst other laws. All right, that they was, you know, enforcing. All right, which all found in the Torah. All right, where did they learn that from? It's a custom that was passed down because with the Israelites. All right, and this lesson not gonna be a history lesson going to proving that they're the Israelites. You know, it's brothers that countless lessons on that. Let's read 2nd and 13th chapter, amongst others. The lesson really going to how we gonna overcome at the end. All right. So from there, let's get the precepts, and there'll be none too long to be straight to the point. We're gonna start with Genesis 49. All right. Genesis, the 49th chapter, and I even mentioned Reuben. You know, it's interesting because Reuben is the Seminole Indians. All right, and matter of fact, let me look something up very fast. Yeah, let's read this. So Genesis 49 and verse 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken to Israel your father. Reuben, all right, which, let me see something right fast. SHAQADAN, I should have this pulled up. All right, Reuben is Seminole Indians, and we know Gad is a Native American Indians. Okay, but I'm gonna look something up very fast. I just want to know, make sure what it meant. Reuben means seed. It's a son. Ra'aban. All right, Ra'aban. It says, Reuben, thou my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel. because thou wentest up to thy father's bed, then defilest thou it. He went up to my couch, man. So breaking that down briefly, you know what I'm saying? We go into a stable as water because, you know, we go into Reuben, Reuben, see the son, the tribe of Reuben are the Seminole Indians today. Now, when you look up the word Seminole, it literally means wild, untamed, or runaway. All right, hence unstable, or known as the waters. All right, and they fought in wars against United States troops in 1817 through 1818, you know, in 1835 through like 1842, you know, and a lot of them was, you know, removed, you know, after that, a lot of them was largely removed to Indian Territory, you know, to Oklahoma. All right, going to how they was not gonna excel, you know. And another proof I could get is look at Deuteronomy 33 and verse 6 very fast. Deuteronomy 33rd chapter. This is Moses prophesying about the tribes as well. Deuteronomy 33 verse 6. Let Reuben live and not die, and let not his men be few. You see? So Reuben's still here. They tried to annihilate us and things of that nature, but you know, nah, he's still here, man. All right, but let's read another one in 1 Chronicles 5. Let me see. All right, this is, you know, proof of who they are. 1 Chronicles 5 and verse 18. The sons of Reuben and the Gadites and half of the tribe of Manasseh are valiant men. They was warriors, man. Men able to bear buckler and a sword and shoot with the bow. That's what you see how they was giving them troops hell. All right, but what gave Esau the upper hand was a Gatling gun. All right, they didn't have that type of weapons. They just had bows and arrows and swords, you know, and skillful in war. Right, were 40,703 score that went out to the war. So they was skillful in war, man. All right, the Reubenites and the Gadites and half the tribe of Manasseh, the so-called Cubans today. You see, but let's get some more precepts and let's jump down to Genesis 49, going to the Gadites. All right, because that's the ones that mainly got slaughtered, man. Amongst other tribes as well, of course, but and all of us went through hell with this devil. But this holiday is really celebrating the genocide of the Gadites, man. Genesis 49, and we're going to jump down to the point, verse 19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him. You see that he was overcame by the United States troops, all right, United States armies, all right. It says, but he shall overcome at the last, because he's going to get the last laugh, man, all right? The ultimate victory, the ultimate, you know, triumph. You see, the tribe of Gad, all right, along with Reuben and all the 12 tribes, because guess what? They got 12,000 coming from out of each tribe, which make it 144,000, man, the governing body. That can be with Yahushua. When Yahushua returns, they're going to deliver the elect. Then when they come back down after getting crowned, all right, conquer, taking the world, all right? So let's get some more precepts I had lined up. Then I'm just ended off through the spirit, man. So, matter of fact, let's get it right quick. I just thought about this one, just popped to my mind. Let's get Book of Thessalonians. This day is evil, man. If you celebrate this day, you're celebrating an evil ass day. Let's get 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 22. Abstain from all appearance of evil, man. All right. The word abstain literally means to hold oneself off, refrain, abstain, stay away from. All right, hold oneself off. Like, I'm not getting down with this, man. Because this holiday is evil, man. I've read the genocides done to our people during this time. This is what they celebrating. You see? This is literally what our people are celebrating, man. Let's read Psalms 85, verse 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and this truth is spreading now. Who the Gadites, who the Native Americans are, the tribe of Gad, the Gadites. All right, the Seminole Indians, the Reubenites, the Negroes, the Judites, so on and so forth. The Mexicans, Issacharites. Right, we're waking back up, man. It says, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. You see? So the truth is spreading, you know, right now. All right, by way of the scripture going to reading to the firmament, you know, got the satellites and the internet spreading this gospel around the world. Let's get Psalms 92 verse 5. O Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, how great are thy works and thy thoughts of every deep. A brutish man knoweth not, neither doth a fool understand this. When the wicked Esau Edom spring as the grass, right? The United States troops and their army, what they was doing to our people, right? And when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever, man. Most are gonna put them to death forever. They're gonna pay for what they did to our people, man. All right. But thou, Lord Yahweh, art most high forever. For lo, thine enemies, O Lord, for lo, thine enemies shall perish, all the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But mine horn shall thou exalt like the horn of an unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. Mine eye also shall see my desire on mine enemies, man. You see? So we're going to see the desires of our enemies, man. Which is, who's our enemy? Esau Edom. All right? It says, and mine ears shall hear my desire of the wicked that rise up against me. We're going to see that, man. All right? We're literally going to see this. And it's happening as we speak. This started with this truth, us waking back up to who we are and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, we're going to get the last laugh over this devil, man, for everything he did to our people. You see? And what they did, removing their land, that's against the law. But look at Proverbs 23, verse 10. It says, remove not the old landmark and enter not into the fields of the fatherless. They were literally removing Gadite territory, man. I just read it in the article. All right? So all these things they're going to have to pay for. Look at Proverbs 29 and verse 16. It says, when the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth. Right? So they was multiplied, you know, and transgression, evil, sin upon sin was just increasing. But the righteous, the elect of the nation of Israel, which I mentioned 12,000 come from the tribe of Gad, and 12,000 come from the tribe of Reuben. All right, 12,000 from each tribe. All right, but the righteous shall see their fall, man. We're going to literally see the fall of this devil, the fall of America. Because the scriptures go into this. Let's get Habakkuk 2 and 12, and it reads, woe, meaning destruction to him that buildeth a town with blood. They built America of blood, man. You see? Like merciless genocide, man. Evil, deceit, wickedness. You see? It was straight wickedness, man. You know, they taught them how to, you know, cultivate the land and wash their stinky ass, all type of things. They just stabbed them in the back. All the treaties they made with the Northern Kingdom, Gadites, and they broke every last one of them. All right, which treaty did let's look this up real fast. And around like 1851, that's when Congress creates reservations to manage what they call the native peoples, man. Put them in different reservations. But which, I already know it's none, but which treaty did America keep between Native American tribes? All right. None. There's nothing here. All right. Over 500 treaties, man, and they broke every last one of them. All right. We went into the Indian Removal Act. We went into all these things already. All right. Let's read on. It says, Habakkuk 2 and verse 12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establisheth a city by iniquity, man. That was all number sin going on, how they established in America. All right. So if you celebrate this thing, most likely gonna kill you, man. I'm keep it a buck, unless you repent, be an Israelite. If you're an Israelite celebrating this thing, you literally celebrating the downfall of your own people. Look at Numbers 35 verse 33. Right, and it reads, so ye should not pollute the land when ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So whose blood gonna have to get spilled, man, to cleanse this place? Esau's blood, man. All right, the blood of our enemies. You see, this place is gonna get burned with fire. It's gonna be on fire for a long duration of time. It'll be a desert land. As you know, that's it. You see, that is it, man. This man Esau's a fucking demon. He gonna pay for what he did to the Gadites. They gonna overcome at the last, man. At the end of the day, you know. So this lesson, you know, nothing too long, straight to the point, man. History. You want to read those articles, with that one article of them removing, you know, our people from their land, genocide, annihilations, you know, all these different things done to our people, man. All right, but Esau gonna pay for it at the end, because scriptures going to test not my anointed, do my prophets no harm. All right, they further the affliction. They have a perfect hatred, man, for our people. All right, but the tribe of Gad and Reuben, natives and Indians, will ultimately overcome. They will have the last laugh. But with that, let's give all honor, glory, and infinite praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham SHAQADAN, the honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, peace and salutation. See the like scattered abroad, pushing his truth in sincerity. With that, I'm going to say Shalom Wa Baba Ball. Shalom.